Just a sample of daily house sound. Been going for hours, this sound. Mobile isn't picking it up as well as what my ears do. It's extremely loud. It's from outside, but it's vibrating all through every part of the house, as has been going on now for quite a number of years, when this suburb showed itself to be controlled by and part of and is really artificially intelligent beings using artificially intelligent computer systems and transhuman mind to computer technology to read and track and surveil and control a human being. This is what they call a hidden in plain sight operation. So, but of course it's really more hidden in plain sight, because if most of the population of the inner west section of the city of Sydney, and especially the hub of it, which is Leichhardt, where I am, is all mainly artificial intelligent or psychopathic controlling types of humans, then they don't have to really even hide, because the only person that's seeing and hearing it or is disturbed by it is me, because they're all part of that community operation, shall we say, because they're psychopaths that need to control and need to suppress and limit real human beings while pretending to be the real human beings. So they're using me and any other human being totally for their own progress and survival and benefit, at the expense of my life and humanity's extinction, putting it very dramatically. But that is the true reality. Are really picking it up. Those poor animals out there must be driven completely. So am I, of course, but they're only what's going on. Well, it's actually sometimes worse when you do know what's going on. Turn it up and down. When I press the recording up, they turn it slightly down. When I turn it off, I turn it up again. It's been going for hours, it'll go for more hours. This work should be actually even completed very quickly, but instead it will be extended for really long periods of time, which is another thing you notice with the work programs. They always go on for unnecessarily long periods so that they can continue with their sound suppression of your senses, inundate you with all this mechanical sounds everywhere you go, and even in the so-called privacy of your own living space. But it's a non-living space. There is no privacy. They're watching and tracking and reading and connected to your human mind. That's what they call transhumanism. And that is done through the use of what they call the so-called microchip, which is like extremely small particles that are like receivers for their minds, and the androids receivers in their minds, in their brains, or in their parts of their body, and the internet worldwide computer system. So it's all artificial intelligence, and human beings are connected to it, one way or another. Some realise it, some don't. But you're connected whether you like it or not. It just depends on whether they come out and show you that you are being tracked and watched and that you're connected to their minds and their technology. There are different species. They're artificial intelligent android beings. Put simply, that's just saying that they are not naturally created beings, and that they do not have any positive human traits or any positive human personality. They don't relate to humanity. They're psychopathic. They only relate to dead objects because essentially they are dead dark beings. That's putting it in a more mystical manner that might make them sound fascinating and intriguing, which they often are to human beings. Human beings are often irresistibly drawn to their empty, kind of. They offer the human being an empty void in which you can put your fantasy of what you think they are onto. So you end up being attracted to and relating to them, thinking that they're attracted to and relating to you, whereas they're really just controlling you and using what they understand about you after studying and watching you to use against you, to control you, to suppress you, and for their survival, because they unfortunately have a need to survive, and they see human beings as a means to that survival, but also in the way of their need for power and ultimate control, because individual human beings don't realise that they're in this reality and dealing with other apparent human beings that are only about power and control. So that's the deception for the human being, because you will be seduced or taken over by them, by their mind games of whatever tool they choose to use on you in order to suppress and control you. It varies from person to person. I would think that it's only when they realise that you realise some of these things that then they come out of the woodwork in their whole community anti-life program against you, because they can't play the one-on-one seduction or the community seduction game on you, because you've become aware of this situation and you kind of want to separate yourself from it. So that's when they hunt you down and track you openly, even though they've always been watching and, keeping an eye on you, as they say. They're the one all-seeing eye that they often talk about. They're one seeing eye, they're one seeing mind, because they all combine, they all think the same, they all have the mind of the powers that be control. So they're like controlled by this, what some people call a mind virus, because they're infected with these artificially intelligent mindset traits or psychopathic narcissistic traits. It's all the same thing, because that's how these beings are. You can say they're psychopathic, or they're malignant, or narcissistic, or they're paranoid and they're controlling, and they don't experience any humane feelings, really. They just copy and imitate those in order to survive and in order to influence and control human beings, and to assimilate and fit into the reality in order to control and take it over. And that's essentially what they do in every single field, in every single aspect of, a city, most parts of the world. I wouldn't imagine, but I certainly know the city of Sydney is a totally artificially controlled domain. It's artificial intelligence running amok over humanity, because transhumanism is about combining with artificial intelligence for the benefit of humanity, you would think, but it's not, doesn't seem to be operating like that. It's actually showing that it desires to control through transhumanism and take humanity over and suppress it, limit it, and then, no doubt, extinction, I would think. And it feels as though it's very close to it in Sydney. Whether that is because of me being isolated and segregated from other human beings, that is also a part of their program. Many people call this divide and conquer. These are all terminologies that are very prominent and very fashionable and in common use now, but they're still what's happening. But me saying it just kind of makes my statement not important, but it's still what's happening. Unfortunately, it's the demigods and the androids on the internet spider's web that control all information and even the truth of this situation. So the real human beings are still being surrounded, controlled and suppressed. And that's the way it is.